I wanted to take a moment before the video began to acknowledge the huge loss the Destiny community and many others have experienced. That being the passing of Lance Reddick. From giving us the most memorable monologue to standing side by side with us in our creation as a community, he will truly be missed. A spark is gone, but there are things you can do to honor him. That being to wear the Push Forward emblem, saluting by Zavala, or to donate to his family. In the description will be a link for that website, and I'll have the name of it up on the screen now. Before we continue any further, I would like to take a minute of silence. Thank you, Lance, for everything. We will see you Starside, Guardian. Spoiler warning for the whole Lightfall campaign and its ending. If you haven't completed it yet and want to finish it blind, then now is the time to click off. Okay, everyone good? Let's get started. I don't like Lightfall. Oh, Jesus! Take cover, it's the Bungie fanboys! Okay, before you crucify me, let me explain. There's a lot wrong with this campaign, from mission structure to dialogue to the introduction of Strand, but there's also some good sprinkled in there, so I'll be covering both. Now, keep in mind, and know that I'm doing this too, that some of my more technical issues might get fixed later down the road. The key word is might. I've played through the campaign 3 times, once on my Warlock, once on my Titan, and once on my Hunter, so I've had a lot of time to flesh out my thoughts on this. Anyways, let's get started. Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be doing a different type of video than I usually do. This is going to be a long-form type of video, so if you want to have this playing in the background while you do whatever, then go for it. Don't worry, I do that sometimes too. A lot of work has gone into this video, so if you enjoy, then hit the like button and maybe consider subscribing. I might start doing more of these if this one does well. Also, please don't hesitate to leave your opinions in the comments. I'd love to discuss all the aspects I cover, and any feedbacks from my videos is welcome. Today I'll be going over each mission from the campaign, the story as a whole, and going over all my likes and dislikes from the experience. I will also be covering all the weeks of Season of Defiance in a similar manner. Keep in mind that these are my opinions, and opinions are subjective, so if you disagree with something I said, that's okay! Let's be civil about it. Throughout this video, you will also get some opinions of my friends and their experience with this DLC. Okay, I think that covers everything. So without further ado, this is my experience with Destiny 2 Lightfall. Disclaimer. All footage was captured on my Warlock during the legendary version of this campaign. This means when discussing Strand, I will mainly be talking from the Warlock perspective, but my friends will interject with their Titan views along with a Hunter or two, maybe. If you want to see footage captured live, then tune in on my Twitch channel. Anyways, we open on the interactive trailer Bungie dropped a while back. Okay then. After an exposition dump, we properly open on a giant space battle. Cabal and Pyramids versus humanity.
Vanguard to all units. Keep the enemy away from the Traveler. At all cost.
lasagna.
What is that? The witness.
Whatever that thing is, we gotta take it down.
Disciple, you know what must be done.
They found the veil.
We're in no position to engage the enemy.
We don't have a choice. We're out of time.
Osiris. Don't die.
We are then presented with the option to pick between the regular or legendary version of the campaign. Obviously, I chose the harder option of the two.
Okay.
The pop-up.
Be brave or become legend. Become legend, obviously.
Well, wait, before you press that, before you like launch the mission,
What?
you might want to make a build really quick because all your mods and stuff have been taken off.
Oh,
So
shit,
like,
have they?
make a build really quick. With
Oh,
mods and stuff.
damn. Yeah, no kidding.
1 minute later.
Nimbus. Alright, screw it, we loading in. I got my stuff. Let me double check.
You got your stuff.
I got my stuff, I'm going in. We're doing this.
We do this.
Let's do this.
Another cutscene plays with us boarding the enemy ship. Heroic music, blasting and all.
Guardian, help Osiris reach the veil before Callus does. And please, stay close to him. He doesn't have any life to spare.
God, my Guardian looks so fucking cool.
Okay, not a bad start. I'm not entirely sure if gravity works like that in space the way it does in the cutscene, but let's ignore that. Now the mission really begins. As we explore the ship, we come across a vent. We get a pop-up telling us to do what any American should when a problem shows up. That is, to shoot it. We liberate the vent cover and start to crawl until we arrive at electrical... Oh, wait, hang on, wrong game. They did do a collab recently, so hey, the reference works, I guess. After a bit of parkour, we arrive at the rear loading ramp for our first fight in the campaign.
Oh, I'm about to start fighting bad guys. I'm fighting bad guys.
Now, one of the new mechanics in this campaign is these darkness backpack things the Cabal wear that give them overshields if they aren't destroyed. These will be very prevalent throughout the campaign. A fun little something about the backpacks, you can shoot them before they activate, causing them to explode and deal damage to surrounding enemies. But this only works if you actually have good aim, something I certainly don't have.
You know what they say about ghosts? Fuck you.
You know what they say about your mom?
What?
They say she's a very lovely lady.
Thank you. I think
And she's
I
a
agree
whore.
with that. No!
Once the room is clear, you can proceed further into the ship. A quick note before moving on: why is the ramp lowered? What military purpose does it serve to lower the loading ramp while you're in space, far above the planet you're invading? I know it's a nitpick, but I just thought I'd mention it. After sneaking through more events, the booming voice of this DLC's antagonist echoes throughout the ship.
My faithful
Guy.
Shadow Legion, this is your glorious Emperor speaking. Our alliance with the Witness bears
Who do I
such
call you?
delectable fruits.
What?
Guy.
Together, we will
Oh.
devour
Kinda hurtful.
Forward. Prepare for descent.
Well, I just threw the shield like Captain America.
To the herald of
Well, Captain America was racist.
The Shadow
When?
Legion is one step ahead of us. Any damage
said
we
the
can
N-word.
inflict on the Cabal fleet
When?
will buy us time.
We are then tasked with collecting keys matching symbols from the Leviathan raid. So after a little bit of,
I think it's that though.
Do not watch.
we get to hear the first of God knows how many times Osiris whinges about us taking too long to secure the Veil. Whatever the hell that is. Something the campaign will hopefully make clear by the end of its story. Next, we are introduced to one of the few good aspects of this campaign: the Tormentors.
Guide.
Oh.
Oh, what the fuck is that? I bumped into the big fella.
It's your bum.
Big fella's mad.
Mum.
Big fella's really mad. I'm depressed.
Your mum.
Oh, big fella got me.
Oh, I know where you are. Gollywag.
What was that?
Jesus Christ.
Did he grab you?
Fruits of an
Yeah,
unholy
he did.
alliance between the Witness and
He grabbed
Callus.
me too and he touched
I
me.
feel they'll have more
Yeah,
surprises
no, he
in
really
store.
touched me there. Like.
Tormentors are the new enemy. Like, an actual new enemy. Not a reskin like the Shadow Legion, but like an actual new enemy with new attacks and stuff. The Tormentors, for those who have done the Vow of the Disciple raid, or have seen clips of it, look a bit similar to Rolk, but smaller and with scythes. Quick little theory of mine: this statue in the opening cutscene doesn't look like a Tormentor, does it? Perhaps it's something else, or perhaps, I should say, someone else. Possibly someone we hear later in the campaign, or even potentially in the raid? Ooh. Only time will tell. Anyways, once the jump scare is over with, we continue to do a little more ball before moving on to pretty much the only cinematic moment of this whole campaign, an issue I will touch more on later.
So it's your mum.
Shit, got me there.
Oh.
Hang on a moment. Hold on. Bit aside. Holy.
Holy.
Okay. His flagship is just flying underneath me right now.
Oh, is that you, tenacious little guardian? What do you think of my Shadow Legion? Revel in these hollow victories. I want you in the best of spirits when we meet in the arena.
With that cool thing out of the way, we then introduce the second Cabal ship to the concept of liberty and justice for all. We grab more keys, destroy the engines, and begin our great escape. Osiris's plan is to become our greatest foe, to turn to the dark side, to use the way of the Guardian's greatest enemy, Cabals. Once blasting our way through the hangar and stealing more keys, we once again face off against the Tormentor. I beat it with no problems whatsoever.
Oh, get away from me, big fella! Oh my god.
We meet Osiris and we get one of the very few funny moments in the campaign.
Hurry up.
Are those things
Bye
safe?
bye.
Can't be that.
Okay, that was funny.
We enter the drop pod and Cabal our way down to the surface.
Here goes nothing.
Oh no! Run, 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 run. Owie! Run, 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 run. Shield.
Halo 3 ODST moment.
I just said that. I just was.
After waking up from what we can only presume to be blunt force head trauma, we begin to fight our way through the streets of New Mombasa. Oh, wait. Wrong game. I meant Neo Muna. There we go, that's better. We're inevitably contacted by Rohan and... Nimbus. Osiris ends up having performance issues and we have to help him out, leading us to our first encounter with the new Darkness subclass, Strand.
Embrace where the current takes you.
I'm a bit surprised we're getting it this early in the campaign, but okay. We interact with the web and unleash our inner gamer rage. As a warlock, I can summon hordes of little gremlins to do my bidding. It feels pretty good and was decently integrated into the story for this moment. I hope that continues going forward and isn't overdone for most of the campaign. Once we beat the onslaught of Cabal, we become exhausted at the weight of playing Destiny 2 for so many years. Transition into a cutscene where we get to see the Cloud Striders in action and...
Welcome to Neo Muna. Nimbus! On your face!
What is that thing?
That is a tormentor. That's the new enemy for this DLC.
One new enemy?
Yeah, one new enemy in a reskin faction.
You work fast.
We don't like to waste time.
Well, good. There isn't a moment to lose.
We regroup at the watchtower.
You don't understand. We've got to get to the Veil.
I understand what's at stake, Lightbearer. Far better than you. Not all of us have lives to spare.
Wait, huh? Osiris didn't bring a gun with him? Like, at all? He does realize he can die, right? Of course he does, he talks about it later. Once that is over, we transition over to Daddy Callus and his goth girlfriend discussing who will fetch the MacGuffin for this year.
And of humans that broke off from the last city to start their own thing.
And those are the protectors of the DOB citizens.
At last,
Who also live
my
in the Elder
semblance
City.
matches my inner beauty. And what beauty!
Daddy Callus.
Delicious power. I should be grateful that such power has come to live in me.
Meditations.
This calls for a toast, does it not?
I'm not gonna worry about it. Oh, wait, there's an exotic quest. I saw that.
My witness.
Wait.
The veil is before us. It's still outside your grasp. My forces are located
Yes!
as we speak.
Quicksilver Storm
The
Catalyst. Let's go.
Naturians won't pose much of a threat with their tawdry technology.
The final shape awaits. The veil is but the next step.
So I'm sadly gonna have to switch to Needle Launcher. We'll switch to one to go. Adept.
I am
Oh my gosh.
thanks to you, my witness.
Oh my gosh, it fits! It fits!
Find the veil so I can move on from this drudgery.
Honestly, I'm not really digging Callus's new design. I'm not even sure what it is, besides the Boy Scout badges, but he just doesn't look that menacing and doesn't feel like this is something a disciple of the Witness would wear. Like, look at Rolk and Nezarek, dad bod and all. He just feels like he's a cosplayer rather than the actual thing. We then must speak to Nimbus, unlocking the second mission and the seasonal artifact. We also quickly speak to Mara, unlocking the seasonal story, but we'll cover that later.
Hang on. Look at Nimbus's ass from behind. Good lord.
Is he thick?
Nimbus got a whole bakery back there.
Under Siege is the mission to truly introduce you to the environment of Neo Muna, and I've got to say, it is beautiful. Before we get into the mission, I just want to quickly talk about Neo Muna and the aesthetic of this expansion. It's good. Like, really good. Neo Muna is one of the best looking environments we've gotten, and it's such a nice change from the usual ruins and decay we've gotten in the recent years. The cyberpunk themes were certainly a good choice, and the contrast of Callus's flagship, the Typhon Imperator, looming over you, always in view, is such a nice touch. Oh, and the music. Oh my god, the music. Just take a listen. Okay, back to the mission. We spawn next to Nimbus and are directed to follow the mission marker. Nimbus goes on about something called the Cloud Arc, basically the Destiny version of Sword Art Online. It sounds cool. I hope we get to see it at some point in the game. Once we arrive in Zephyr Concourse and have to clear out the Cabal and Vex because, for some reason, the Vex are here.
Hey, the Vex are here.
We kill the first yellow bar enemy and realize we must get 3 more. Bungie loves their rule of 3 in this game. I sure hope it doesn't repeat throughout the campaign. After we rule of 3 the remaining keycards, we are instructed to head towards the Veil.
So long as we don't waste any more time. Callus's forces are occupying enough of your city.
Shut up, Osiris, we get it! High stakes, big drama, blockbuster movie threats, etc. Okay, glad I got that out of my system. Now, let's move on, shall we? We approach the barrier and then have to... Oh my god, not another fucking rule of 3! We just did this! Why? Why, oh why, Bungie, do you hate us so? With that rule of 3 out of the way, we press forward to more Osiris complaining. Seriously, look how they massacred my boy. He does nothing but complain. It's so boring. Also, I don't like Nimbus's voice, like what they did with it. I'm sure Marin M. Miller is a great person and I have nothing against them. It's just the way the dialogue is written and the voice effects that were layered over are so off. They took a feminine sounding person and pitched their voice down, put some free text-to-speech effects over it, hired some Marvel writer to do the dialogue, and bam! You have Nimbus! Like, hello? Tone deaf much? We're only on the second mission and trust me, Nimbus only gets worse. We then enter a boss arena with a pyramid device that takes away our super and only our super, because Bungie doesn't know how to make encounters difficult without pulling a Moon Knight and throwing out random bullshit. Insert your regular enemy but as a bigger bullet sponge boss. After...
Oh my god!
the boss for a while, we kill it and get our rewards.
Oh, that was cool.
Ghost comments on a bunch of Shadow Legion, but we only see several dropships and no actual troops anywhere, before we get thrown into a cutscene where Daddy Callus is calling his Discord kitten. Ghost roleplays his kitten Whiskers so that we can have an excuse to see what the bad guys are plotting.
Oh wait, I need to damage the boss.
We're too late. They've got the veil.
Guardian, I don't... This doesn't feel right.
The veil?
It's worse than before. Much worse.
My witness.
Progress.
We have captured the veil. Well, the area around the veil. It is entombed, so it will take some time to break through and link the relay. Add to that the enemy presence.
Yes.
I killed myself.
We know they are here. A few of Soul's protectors cannot prevent fate. You will link the radio mast and see the veil destroyed. The final shape rests upon it.
Indeed, my witness.
That was... familiar. Only much stronger this time. I feel... sick. Like I shouldn't be here.
We're in this together. Osiris and Nimbus need to hear about this.
I still hate Callus's design, and the bucket he wears as a helmet? It looks so stupid! Downfall. What a fitting title for this expansion. Anyways, our mission is to destroy the radial mast. Yet another MacGuffin in this MacGuffin-filled story. Basically, the radial mast does a do. And then the do is not a good do, so we must stop it before it do the do. Do you get that? No? Well, that's okay, because they'll explain it a lot about how bad it is if the radial mast gets near the veil. I'm not sure why the witness wants to destroy the veil, because what the hell is the veil? I wonder if they'll answer that question by the end of the campaign. Hey, here's a fun challenge. How many times does the radial mast get mentioned in this mission? Let's count together, shall we?
Radial mast, radial mast,
Radial mast.
radial mast,
Radial mast.
Radial mast.
Radial mast.
Radial mast.
radial mast,
Radial mast.
Radial mast. Radial mast.
radial mast,
Radial mast.
radial mast, radial mast.
15 times. They say radial mast 15 times in this mission. Guys, our stakes are high because we kept saying the name of the evil MacGuffin. Who wrote this? We're barely into the mission and I'm already getting ticked off. Okay, take a breather and let's try again. So after doing some... we gain access to the ship. I do have to say I like the mysteriousness of the interior of pyramid ships and structures, like the what the fuck that pops into my mind every time I see those weird horse and sphinx statues will never get old. I also like that we can see some of the old Callus and Leviathan stuff sprinkled throughout the mission, so hey, there's a positive to make up for my little tangent I just had. Most of the missions consist of me having to
vendors from Trials and Grams.
So I won't sit on those moments for too long. We take a grav lift and, oh hey look, Taken. Not sure why they're here, but okay. We fight through some more Taken and Cabal until we arrive at a Cabal version of a gas station. Our new job is to... stand on a plate, grab a ball, and dunk it. God, I forgot how unimaginative of a mechanic that is. Seriously, I feel like they do this in every mission, raid, strike, or dungeon ever. So we do the fun game mechanic and Ghost says something interesting.
Tormentor, up high.
Oh, another Tormentor.
Ghost? How do you know the name of these things? Not once have they ever been named out loud to any of us. Call this a nitpick, but seriously, how does he know the name of these guys? Once I cheese the boss by standing on literally any elevated platform, we move further into the ship. We take another grav lift, fight some more enemies, and find one of Callus's cloning rooms. Ghost mentions how Osiris is suffering from dementia, which we do not comment on because we are a respectful, god-slaying, species-extincting, funny gun-making, mute protagonist. Cue ominous door opening for us. We enter the room and see the evil MacGuffin that Osiris wouldn't shut up about. Suddenly, Callus. Emperor Buckethead starts bragging about how his Discord kitten is the best and that we should have downloaded Reddit to be as cool as him. Hey look, we have to stand on more plates and dunk more balls. What fun! Suddenly, Strand. They really need to find a better way to integrate this into the campaign because so far it's been so random. Now we have to clear out the arena with the power of veganism. These carnivores never stood a chance. That is, until Callus summoned an omnivore. With the ideals of that vegan teacher failing to infiltrate the brain of this omnivore, we have no choice but to hide. Suddenly, Keitel. Thanks to Keitel destroying the barrier that we easily could have blown up, we excuse ourselves as Callus begins moaning about his daddy-daughter issues. Cue Warthog Run.
Took me a second to realize it was horse barrels.
If you fight the river, it'll sweep you away.
Oh, this is like the whole Warthog.
I want them to keep a trend of adding vehicle race mission in each campaign. They did it in Witch Queen, I did in this one.
Once we escape the ship, Keitel shows us the slideshow she's been working on all day, and we learn that Callus is incredibly horny for the Witness. What a revelation! Before we move on, there is a moment we get to see Osiris fight with his boyfriend, and can I just say, Osiris's voice actor is doing a phenomenal job in this expansion. I know I've been ragging on about the dialogue itself, but oh my god, that moment between him and Saint, and then him losing his cool, it's just so well done. Seriously, huge props to Oded Fair. He's been killing it since 2017. So when we gain access to this mission, Nimbus admits they have a thing for Keitel. So, Zavala, looks like you've got some competition, big boy. Now begins the first of many terrible Vex missions. Ghost asks the obvious question about what the Cloud Arc is, and Rohan gives some generic exposition about it and how we have to turn the power back on. Why can't Rohan and Nimbus do this themselves? Who knows? Gotta make the player do everything, I guess. When we arrive at Liming Harbor, we are greeted by a bunch of Vex, and I gotta say, if there is one thing that redeems this mission and the campaign as a whole, it would be the destructible environment of Neomuna. Because, honestly, the door being breakable confused me and my friends for a bit, because we've never had anything like this before.
Am I stuck? Just answer that.
No, you're not.
Oh, I figured it out. I figured it out.
That's stupid. That's stupid.
It's a cool change. Not to mention how you can destroy crates and stuff. It's really cool. Honestly, I hope they keep it going forward. The enemy density is nice. It gives me some time just to mindlessly kill things. Though for some reason these pop-ups keep appearing and it's starting to get a bit annoying. Like, yes, Bungie, I've played Among Us. I don't need a vent tutorial. Once we're through the vents and clear a room full of dancing Vex, Nimbus attempts something called comedy by making a joke. It does not land. We find another Vex dance party and recreate an average day at an American school. Yay! Now time for yet another bullet sponge boss. This totally isn't tedious. The Hydra retreats further into the facility and we have to... Rule of 3 this boss. 3 rooms, 3 damage phases. God, this sucks. And this is only the first Vex-based mission. Surely they won't get worse than this, right? After doing some more through each of the rooms, we kill the Hydra and reroute the power, only for Ghost to say,
That was a little too easy.
No, Ghost, it was not easy!
So twinkle,
Shut up before
asshole.
I crush you like that stupid little stress ball you are! Suddenly, Cabal! Oh, and there's a bomb too, because why the hell not? Suddenly, 2 Tormentors spawn. Okay. I'll admit it, this part was fun solely because of fighting 2 Tormentors at the same time. That was until I cheesed one of them by standing on a box. A little oversight there, Bungie, but that's okay. You get a gold sticker for trying. Once the Tormentors are defeated, we then have to escape the facility by using the wonky grapple physics and surviving the oddly placed turrets. One big explosion later and we escape. Still not sure why we had to do this job, but okay. Also, if the Shadow Legion blew up the structure, wouldn't everything we just did have been pointless? Like, wasn't that the source of energy? No? Okay then. A cutscene plays with Osiris explaining to us, who have never played the game before, what light and darkness are, and why Strand is a thing. Nimbus then counters with their own tale. An exposition off, if you will. Also, have I mentioned how nice the cutscenes look? Like, I'm not sure what they did with the engine, if anything, but the cutscenes in this expansion just look so damn nice. I love it. We speak to Nimbus and they attempt more of this thing called comedy. I really need to find a better example of good comedy. They also talk about their head, shoulder, knees, and toes, huh? Oh, okay then. Oh, by the way, they also just casually dropped Nezarek's name via a radio broadcast that you could very easily have missed. So, good job, Bungie! With that out of the way, we begin the next mission. This mission is one of the 2 Strand-focused missions because, in a campaign about end-of-the-world stakes and whatnot, we need to dedicate missions to Strand. Our objective is simply to destroy Vex. Really riveting mission design here, Bungie. Also, how come the Vex are here? There really is never a good explanation for it other than because. Oh hey, more Rule of 3! They really love putting this into their missions, don't they? Once that is done, we are yet again exhausted. Damn! Our Guardian cannot last long, can they? We are then forced into a grapple section, and I'm gonna be honest, most of this mission is just Strand practice, so I won't go super in depth for the whole thing because you get the gist at this point. After stranding around at the speed of sound, we arrive at the spot Nimbold told us about.
Grapple hook, please! It just wouldn't recharge.
We gain access to our first aspect and cue a generic defeat waves of enemies until a boss spawns, then kill the boss encounter. This boss is easy, but ironically my internet took a massive dump during this part, so I was here far longer than I should have been. The mechanic for this encounter is to create tangles and use them to destroy Vex crystals to be able to damage the Minotaurs. It's really simple and starts to get boring after a while. The boss acts similarly, but you have to also destroy Hydras to dunk a ball. I really hate how they health gate bosses in this game. Just let me be stupidly overpowered, please. I'm begging you. Though, to give credit where credit is due, the music here slaps. Honestly, the music for this entire expansion slaps and makes boring encounters somewhat enjoyable. Osiris complains more about how we suck at wielding Strand after the boss is defeated. Cue the cutscene where Osiris gets depressed about Sagira.
What is this attraction? Sagira, could you run some scans? Oh. Right.
Am I interrupting?
Rohan, I've been pondering the Veil's paracausal effects on ghosts. I know I haven't been the easiest guest in your city.
Pain is not a hindrance. It simply reminds us we're still breathing. Still fighting. They're going to attempt a leap. We have to stop them.
This mission is one of the more fun ones because we get to use tanks! Just like in Halo! Do you know that game? The one made by Bungie? The one from the good old days, as some people put it? The game that is better than Destiny 2? I'll cover that tank part when we get there, but first we have to destroy the plot-suppressing devices using, drumroll please, Strand. Who would have guessed it? Not me, that's for sure. The next area has more of these devices we need to destroy, so we do our usual loop of kill, get Strand, and destroy the device along with a Goliath tank to spice things up. Oh hey look, a tank. Guess what that means? Tank time. The only fun sections of this mission are with the tank, so enjoy it while you can. Oh, also Nimbus actually has a funny line here. Take a listen.
You stole those schematics from my files, didn't you?
Information wants to be free.
You blow stuff up for a bit only to get your tank taken away, because fuck you. Yay, suppression devices! We then have to destroy 2 more of these devices using Strand, fight a Tormentor, which I 100% cheesed because why the hell not, get exhausted, this mechanic sucks Bungie, please stop using it, and then get to move on to the next area, which is, thankfully, another on-rails tank section. I miss open world areas with tanks. Can we do those again, please, Bungie? Those were fun. Some more explosions later, we regroup with Rohan because Nimbus is busy doing fuck all and because we gotta bust our way into the Veil containment facility. As we ascend the facility, Osiris gives a bit of a sketchy delivery about us being the only hope because, of course, we are.
You and Rohan are our only hope.
We meet Rohan at the radial mast and watch as he enters it to slow it down. However the hell that works. Oh hey look, a boss fight, what fun. To be fair, it is the same Colossus we've been seeing throughout the campaign, so yay consistency I guess? Also, I find it funny his name is Carl. My boy Carl is the boss, I'm so proud of him. Once we weaken Carl, we let out a big fart that incinerates him. Suddenly we are exhausted because plot reasons, forcing Lee from The Walking Dead to sacrifice himself.
Now's the time! Lightbearer! Destroy it now!
We can't.
I have no choice. Nimbus, see you on the other side.
Rohan, what are you doing?
Rohan. He
chose a Cloud Strider's end. Hey, Guardian, can you please pick up his core? I'll need it.
Okay, Nimbus.
Oh no! Anyway, last week...
This is so sad. A cutscene between Emperor Buckethead and Goth Girl plays, and honestly, this cutscene was really cool except for one little detail. Didn't the Witness want the Veil destroyed? Why does it now want to link with it? Seriously, I'm not crazy, watch.
You will link the radio mast and see the Veil destroyed.
Secure the Veil. We will create the link.
Like, huh? This makes no sense. Who went on vacation when writing this? After the cutscene, we travel back to Strider's Gate, and Nimbled cries about Rohan's death and gives us a new mission. I don't have much to say on this strike. It's just really cool and has a Sparrow section, which makes me miss SRL, and I love the overall look of the VexNet. Also, we finally get to hear Nezarec speak, and damn, he sounds cool.
Finally.
What was that?
Such a fragile space. This will do.
This strike really gives me high hopes for the raid when we inevitably face down Nezarec, and boy, I can't wait. My only issue with the strike is that it is literally the only new strike in this expansion. No other new strikes, no reprise strikes, nothing. We did get 2 rework strikes, that being Lake of Shadows and the Arms Dealer, but they both suck now. Like, seriously, they're worse than what they were before. Lake of Shadows has not only 1, but 2 fucking escort sections. An Arms Dealer adds a bunch of side objectives to free prisoners, and Health Gate's the boss. They even moved him back from the top of the elevator so you can't melt him before arriving at the arena. Also, rip Cade's favorite flame turrets. Taken from us too soon. This is the worst mission in the campaign. Like, seriously, it's so terrible, it hurts to replay it for this review. We open on a cutscene where Nimbled makes a really dumb heroic entrance to which Osiris basically says, "Fuck you," which I respect. Cue your generic training montage as we learn to use Strand. Nimble turns on turrets, and Keitel rallies her troops. During the training montage, Osiris's cloak glitches out, and honestly, it's really funny to look at because this is supposed to be a serious moment and there's a cloak just bugging out. Nice one, Bungie. Now we really begin the mission, and let me just say this. Fuck this mission. I despise its mere existence, and we haven't even gotten to the section I truly hate. The first half of the mission is just going to different areas and experimenting with Strand, your cookie cutter stuff. We do some puzzles, kill Vex, and travel from area to area until we arrive at it. The precipice of bad mission design. The Strand Trial, or as I put it, the Strial. With our Guardian finally being able to last longer than 5 seconds, we begin the trial. How this trial works is basically a running gun, minus the fun. You clear each section using Strand until you arrive at a circular room. Once you clear out this room, there'll be multiple waves of enemies, and then you have to fight a boss, which you have to kill to complete the mission. During this whole section, Osiris keeps celebrating about how well you're doing and how we've achieved so much. What the hell do you mean we? You did nothing! I did all the work! You just got angry and yelled at everyone the whole time. In the circular room is a spinning death wall. Touch it and you're, well, dead. Here's the catch and the reason I despise this mission. You die anywhere in here, be it at the beginning, middle, or end, you are sent back to the fucking beginning. No checkpoints, nothing. You gotta do it all again. Who designed this? This is terrible. All that time and effort wasted, and if you mess up once, bam, you're done. Seriously, such a shitty way to design this mission. This is fine. Once the boss is dead, that's it. Mission over, and I assure you, I will never replay this mission, ever, because it can burn in eternity for all I care. Good grief.
I bet we could go again. What do you think, Guardian?
Shut up, Ghost, before I strangle you! This is it, the final mission of the campaign. Let's hope it's much better than that atrocity of a mission we just had to endure. We spawn in and make our way through the Irkala complex.
A parchment complex? I find it quite simple.
This part seems fun. Summon Strand and grapple onto a Thresher. That is, if the grapple wasn't so finicky about where you're aiming it. See, if you misalign it by even a pixel, It won't hook onto the thresher, and will send you flying into the void. And even if you do hit the thresher, it'll sometimes just smack you into a building and send you plummeting to your death. Thankfully, there are platforms you can climb to get to the top, which I did after many failed attempts to look like a badass. Here we have to destroy 2 anti-air cannons. To do this, we must kill an arbitrary amount of enemies to take down the shield, to then shoot the cannon to blow them up. When taking down the second cannon, a tormentor is thrown into the mix, but considering how easy it is to cheese them, they're basically a non-threat at this point. With the cannons destroyed, we move on to the best section of this mission. We clear out the area and watch as a tank gets blown up in front of us. This section lets us use a giant death beam to blow up tanks and Cabal. My only disappointment is that we can't blow up the dropships. Like, come on! We can blow up tanks but not ships? Let us have some fun, Bungie! This part reminded me a lot of Firefight from Halo Reach. Man, that game was fun, and I love that game mode. Should replay that at some point. Here you gotta defend the turrets from waves of Shadow Legion while they assault your position. After a bit, Empress Keitel makes her grand entrance. With her comes Cabal reinforcements, and honestly, the speech Keitel makes and the music on top of that, it really feels like a final stand, and I love it. You fight more enemies until your turrets run out, and then have to face off against 2 tormentors. We melt them pretty quickly. After that, you fall back to the entrance of the facility and hold them off from there. With all the enemies cleared out, a projection of Callus appears and blows open the door. Keitel tells us to go and leave her to confront her abandonment issues regarding her father. The further into the facility we go, the more familiar assets we see. That being from the Ishtar Vault on Venus from D1. Once we go through the vault door, we start to see what the Veil actually looks like. A bunch of glowy stuff. Ooh, spooky. Keitel informs us that Callus has gone past her and it's up to us to stop him because of course it is. We arrive at a circular arena and see Callus just staring up like an absolute idiot. We acquire Strand, rally the flag, and begin the final fight in this terrible expansion. Callus here has a giant darkness minigun, and it looks stupid as hell. Already this boss fight sucks. We're in an uninteresting arena, fighting a goofy looking boss, who is using a comedically large gun to shoot us. Our only option is to... After doing that for a bit, 2 more Tormentors spawn in and we easily kill them. Damaging Callus enough triggers his second phase in which he becomes a giant gladiator. Seriously? No epic darkness powers, just 2 blades. Wow. That's disappointing.
Gonna be honest.
Callus a bit more until we finally kill him.
It's a really slow machine gun.
Oh, we glitched it.
And it has no good perks. It has.
And
let me see. So it has barrel. It has ricochet rounds.
All right. Bye.
A cutscene plays and Nimbled makes a poorly timed comment to Keitel about her dad.
Well, the uglier they are, the harder they fall, right?
Like, seriously, dude. She just lost her father. Don't call him ugly to her face. Tone deaf much? Our ghost starts speaking enchantment table and floats up towards the veil. Cue a giant energy beam. We have a moment where it looks like we're gonna shoot our ghost until Nimbled plucks it out of the air.
What just happened?
Why didn't you do that sooner? We just lost because you took too bloody long, as Keitel puts it.
What just happened?
We just lost. Zavala, come in.
The universe makes us all victim and perpetrator. That's infinite cruelty. You, more than any
They're already unlocked.
Told you they unlocked today. They should be unlocked. They said later today.
That happened today.
Where the fuck is the witness going?
We don't know.
So are you telling me that the Vanguard and the witness just sat in front of the Traveler this whole time?
Yeah.
We then spawn in the tower and talk to Zavala and Ikora. We both talk about the Traveler being gone, yet it's still there? Do they mean gone as in dead? Because that doesn't make sense either. What the hell is going on? This ending is so confusing. And that's it. That's the Lightfall campaign. We finally unlock Strand for real this time and gain access to the endgame content. What a disappointment this campaign has been. So far, Season of Defiance has been pretty good. As of the writing in this section of the script, we're done with the seasonal story. Besides the final week at the very end of the season, and I have mixed feelings about it. I just feel hollow. Nothing happened in the last week after the anticipation built up by Crow's shift back into an Aldrin mindset the week before, and yet nothing happened with it. Maybe it's a setup for something much later down the line? I'm not sure, but either way, they can't keep playing this game of "we'll tell you later" crap, because it just won't work out in their favor. People are already frustrated with Lightfall's lack of answers. Seasons doing it too won't help. Amanda's death. Yeah, that happened. The season stories have been really good lately, and this one has certainly picked up the slack for Lightfall's disappointments. Though it does still feel rushed, and I can get that it's dropping alongside an expansion, but still, Amanda's death just doesn't sit right with me. She's been carrying so many death flags throughout the season that she might actually outdo Rohan in that sense. However, the bit where Zavala says devotion, bravery, sacrifice hit hard for its own obvious reasons. We still have no idea why the Shadow Legion was taking prisoners. Come on, Bungie! Why are you so allergic to giving answers in this expansion? Simply put, this was not a bad season story, but it has a lot of room to improve. It'll be interesting to see what changes they make to the seasonal model, as they said they were going to, going forward with seasons. Overall, I'm not happy with Lightfall's story, and I know most of the community feels the same way. Hell, if Bythe can't explain what the Veil is, then none of us have any hope of understanding it. I understand that they're going to have a quest in the future that'll explain what the Veil is, but that's far too late. This should have been explained instead of expanding on Strand so much. Strand's introduction felt very rushed and more of an afterthought than rather an integral part of the story. Out of the 3 new supers, the Titans feels the weakest. I'm not sure if it's just yet another melee-based super or the lack of super interesting movesets or what, but the Warlocks definitely takes the cake in terms of fun. Like, those Threadlings are just so much fun with the right build. The Hunters is okay, and the super feels really nice, but there's just not much else to it outside of that. Neomuna looks beautiful, but it just feels so empty. I just don't feel like we're in a city that's under siege. The beginning cutscene and the end cutscene just feel a bit off, like they're meant to be one big cutscene. Like, you're telling me that the Vanguard and the Witness just sat there this whole time and did nothing while we were fucking around with Callus? Like watch this, see?
The universe makes us all victims. And perpetrator of its infinite cruelty. You, more than any, suffer both fates. Be free.
There's another thing. This campaign just felt rushed and overall not well connected to the rest of the Destiny universe. It just felt like one big Strand tutorial rather than a unique story. With the Witch Queen, the story made sense, the stakes were high, and it felt like a great send-off to a longtime villain. With Callus, I didn't get that feeling. We've known him since Vanilla D2, and yet I didn't feel anything when killing him. This is a shame because he's been such a fun character, and unlike Savathûn, there is no chance of him coming back. This whole thing just felt like filler, and I know I'm not alone in that feeling. A rushed filler expansion has never gone well for Bungie in the past. Like, look how poorly received Shadowkeep and Beyond Light were. Now this? Seriously, Bungie, you gotta knock it out of the park with Final Shape. There was a lot of important exposition done over the radio via the Neomuna Civil News with Jisoo Colorado. Oh, and speaking of Neomuna, the enemy difficulty in patrol zones is just a bit too much. Patrol zones are meant to be fun. I get the difficulty spike for terminal overload, but regular patrol enemies? Like, some people are 1820 plus and there's still swords above the enemies' heads. Like, that's just... what? Also, the Cloud Arc is such a writing crutch. We don't get to see it, and it's such a poor excuse to have no civilians in the world. How come enemies have strand shields? Did anyone else notice that? As Bungie put it,
something that's unique about Strand, unlike any of these other powers we've ever had before, when you play through Lightfall, you are discovering this power for the first time. No one in the universe, ever in the history of Destiny, has used Strand before.
So why do enemies have strand shields? That just doesn't make sense. Oh, also apparently Osteo Striga was meant to be a strand gun in the Witch Queen, which would make sense since Strand was originally meant for that expansion. The raid itself was pretty fun. I was a bit concerned with Nezarek's dad bod, but that's something I can overlook. I loved the mesh of the pyramid ship mixing with the roots from the Traveler's Beam. This felt like an easier raid compared to those we've had in the past. The mechanics weren't that complicated to learn, which makes me think it was meant to be a dungeon originally. I could be wrong in that feeling, but that's just what it seems like. I might make a dedicated video reviewing the raid and the Season of Defiance if this does well. We'll see. Guardian ranks. They're okay, I guess. A tad bit annoying that the rest of your progress is reset to rank 6 every season, making the grind of future ranks pointless. Also, there's apparently a cooldown on accommodations with raids and dungeons. Like, just why, Bungie? Why is that a thing? Now, here are a few thoughts from my friends on their experience with Lightfall.
The second and final boss were annoying, I'd say, but after I got a good boost of some dopamine, you know, beating the boss, felt good. Felt really good to beat that one boss, the fucking Minotaur with a dude. Felt great to beat him.
Oh,
Callus,
the circular room one?
Yeah, Callus, Callus was fun. I enjoyed it. Would I do it again? Probably not. But that was overall good. Story-wise, I'm not really a big story guy anyway, so I mean, I didn't really get what was going on. Like I have a gist of what's going on, you know, dark is bad, witness is dead or some shit. But like, I have no clue what the veil is. I want to know what the veil was. Didn't know. Thought I would find out what the veil was at least.
So I still don't
No, all I
understand
know was you got Osiris in my ear the entire time, telling me to get to the veil, even though I don't know what it is and why I need to get to it. Strand, I think, should not have been the focus of the story. I think if they would have taken away the like 4 Strand missions, the story would have been a lot better, and I would be able to find out what the veil was. Nimbus and Rohan, I mean, for Rohan's death, I needed more to actually care about him dying, but when I saw him dying, I was like, eh. Wow. I feel like his death was just there to move the plot forward, and in writing, that's not good at all. You shouldn't just put a death in just to have a death. It needs to have some sort of meaning. Yeah. Nimbus, I don't think he was comedic relief. I just don't think he was done in the right way that comedic relief should be done, especially in when the stakes are that high. I mean, Cade, I guess he did it, but I think he just did it in a different way, or they had it written up in a different way that made me feel differently about it. So I mean, I don't think they need comedic relief in this game to make it what it is, but
yeah, because that was kind of
nice.
Yeah, that was kind of like
kind of
six.
felt forced.
Yeah, Well, I was gonna say, like, it's Cade 6 kind of filled that role of comedic relief, and I think the point of killing Cade was to kind of show the change of tone. Because, I mean, we still have, like, the Drifter and stuff
that's true.
that has that funny element to it, but that's because he's not trying to be funny. He's just... that's
just
more...
him.
Yeah, that's more like I personally like Drifter. Like, Gambit fucking sucks. But... I like the element of Drifter's character, and his interactions with Eris Morn are always funny. But that's because they're not trying to be funny.
Someone beat us to the next security vendor.
Yeah.
Sorry, friends. I couldn't sit this one out.
Really, Strand, yeah, like I said, that, comedic relief wasn't needed. Nimbus is, give or take, I mean, yes, it's alright. Weapons, I don't really think I got really any new weapons that I remember or have used, like, to a good extent. I feel like there's some reused assets, but I mean, that's with every game, or like, every expansion with this game, so I mean, I'm not really too mad about it, just more disappointed. Season I'm really enjoying so far. Done a couple missions. I'm really enjoying the new activity. Strand, once I get my fragments for the campaign, I'm loving it. New Titan Exotic, pretty good. The raid design looks pretty sick. It's the campaign though. Never mind. Overall, if I had to give it a rating out of 10, I'd probably say it's probably like 6.5. I think they just set the bar so high with Witch Queen that if they went any lower, I feel like they were gonna get some sort of backlash, regardless.
Right. Yeah.
Taken. What are the
But
Taken
I think this, compared to Witch Queen, this utterly just sucks. It was awful.
Be careful.
Witch Queen, I got answers to questions I was like curious about. Like doing up to it, I was like, okay, that's sick, that's nice. Lightfall, I feel like I have left with more questions than answers, and when we're nearing what the final DLC of the Light and Dark Saga.
Yep.
I don't think that's something you should be doing. I think you should be, you know, kind of trying to draw a conclusion.
And also as well, I don't know if you felt this, but I felt like the Lightfall campaign wasn't as cinematic. I don't feel like there was as much happening.
I really like the interactions between Callus and the Witness. I wish I got more of them.
Yes, those were
awesome.
Like that scene where the Witness basically kind of like choked him out a bit. That was good.
Yeah, that was probably like the highlight of the campaign for me.
Which I honestly thought going into the campaign that the Witness was gonna
cover the Witness's tracks.
I thought he'd be more involved.
Yeah, I thought like there was gonna be more. Like we had, what was it, 1, 2. How many cuts? We only had like 2 or 3 cutscenes with Callus, and then he spoke to us maybe once or twice.
Kind of often.
Yeah.
Guardian, you have to catch up with him before it's too late.
I can probably use my suit.
Yeah, overall though, I like with Witch Queen, there's missions like I will replay to this day. I will still replay Witch Queen missions.
Yeah, I agree.
Lightfall, I think I'd only
find, like,
replay the intro mission. It's like there was
because I kind of feel.
No, go on.
I kind of felt like when I was going through this campaign, it was more of a chore than it was a game. So I was like, just gotta shuffle, go on through this for day one. I don't know if it's true because I went through the entire campaign, but if there wasn't day one, I wasn't over day one, I don't know if I would have actually been in such a hurry to finish the campaign. I feel it might have taken me 3 or 4 weeks to finish it.
Yeah, that's an interesting contrast because I know I would have personally still finished the campaign as quick as I did, just because I play this game so much, but it's I didn't enjoy it. I kind of got bored, and I've never really like even with
the Vex part.
Oh my god! Yeah, no, the Vex missions were just so boring.
Yes, I know. You shouldn't let pain stop you.
But another
But you can't let it propel you
which
either.
one was it? Like
Trust me.
As bad as Beyond
path
Light and
only
Shadowkeep
leads to
were,
more
I
pain.
like enjoyed playing during those. Like, say what you want about the story, but I enjoyed playing during that time. I just was so bored with this.
I understand what you're saying.
I just, yeah, I'm just kind of disappointed. I like they were hyping Lightfall up so much, and then especially when finding out that Lightfall and Final Shape were supposed to be one big thing, because like that cutscene with
Yes, that cutscene.
yeah, the intro cutscene and the end cutscene, they felt like they were supposed to be one.
Yeah, I agree.
Is it just? Are you telling me that the Witness and the Vanguard were all just sitting there the entire time?
Rohan didn't need weapons or fancy mods.
That's what Cyrus
Sure,
was
he
yelling.
liked his gear, but he didn't need all that to defend our city.
Nimbus's voice
Duty
sounds
as a
off.
Cloud Strider.
That part wasn't that bothered me all that much, but
yeah. It wasn't like I think that's more of a nitpick on my
You
part,
take it.
but
Use it to get the blueprint.
I just
understand.
something just
Meet me
seems
back in
off
the
about
Omuna when
Nimbus.
you're done,
It's clearly a woman's voice being like stepped down and then having like dubstep or something put over it.
Dubstep.
They're on their way back to
What's
the
the auto tune? Like, what's the
boosting, maybe?
Well done,
Maybe?
Guardian. Must be your way with words.
They've put
But
some
you'll need
voice
more than that
effects,
if you're to
but
reach
it's
the
just
conceptual
it
mind
doesn't
before
suit
the
it.
taken.
It doesn't suit them.
Don't forget what you're here for.
I think I would have liked if Rohan was introduced.
The Taken are pulling ahead.
I don't know. I just feel like his death unnecessary. Also, getting back to like how you write a character
At least not until we
and
get
like
its
a
memory
story.
core.
If you're going, since we're like one thing away, I don't think the smartest idea is bringing up more questions, because if you leave those unanswered, you have plot holes. Because if you're gonna go from Light and Dark Saga and just switch off from Light and Dark Saga to something completely different and say it's over, and you go back and you see there's, well, where does this plot line go to? It just ends, cuts off here. That's like, I don't know. I just like being able to. A good resolution needs everything answered. I feel like there's just so many things. Like you have Ziggular Wrath. I know nothing about. Maybe it's because I didn't play, or I don't really deep in lore.
And yeah, that's certainly an issue I've noticed with the Light and Dark Saga as a whole. Has kind of been like, if you're not like a lore nerd, or if you're not like watching all of Fife's videos, you have like no idea what's going on.
I have a general idea of what's going on from just talking to you guys.
Yeah, but you gotta keep in mind, Kenny and I are lore nerds, so you get some of that aspect.
Yeah, Kenny reads every single gun he gets. He reads like the lore tab.
Oh, I do that too.
Couldn't be me.
Oh, both of them do. Yeah, also cannot be me, Alex.
No, but like, precisely that's the thing. Like, this lore, such important lore gets hidden away, and you're just sitting there wondering, wow, I wish I knew what the hell was going on. Like, no one knows what the Veil is. Like, Bife was mad about that. That's...
Oh, dude, I watched Bice's video. Dude, I've never seen heard Bife angry, but oh my god.
Like, if Bife is mad about something to do with Destiny, you done fucked up.
Lord Daddy angry. But I mean, hey, maybe the Final Shape is just gonna blow us all away. It's gonna be a huge expansion, so it gives all we want.
I hope. Well, I'm just a bit.
Final Shape will be the final champion. I'm telling you.
The Witness is just a champion.
Okay. And it's like something that confused me a bit as well about the plot. Like they said, oh, we couldn't follow the Witness through the portal. It's like, how do you know that? Right?
Yeah, I mean, why? Like, why couldn't we go in there? I feel like.
The UNSC did it in Halo 2 and Halo 3.
Yeah, they just go through portals. I wonder maybe the raid takes place through the portal.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking we go into the raid, And then there's Nezarek, who's like waiting for us, like, oh, you can't get through here, big man. Oh,
oh yeah, Nezarek's definitely gonna be the raid boss. There's just no way.
Huh. I never really thought about that before.
Lightfall was disappointing to me and many others. Bungie really hyped this up only to disappoint. Not to mention that we paid more for this expansion, so it's kind of expected that you deliver something good. This feels like Witch Queen was 2 steps in the right direction, and now we've taken a step back. I hope they've learned a valuable lesson here, because honestly, I'm a bit worried about Final Shape now. I know we have a long time until that comes out, but until Bungie proves they've got this in the bag, I'm gonna be very hesitant going forward. If you made it this far into the video, then I want to say thank you. Truly. I've spent a while on this video, and it's the first long form I've done on this channel. If you enjoyed, please consider leaving a like or even subscribing. As a reward for you making it this far, I put together a little something. Hope you like it.
Time before I go, I'll let you know that all this time I've been afraid, wouldn't let it show. Nobody can save me now. No, nobody can save me now.
When we think about controlling something powerful, it's easy to assume it takes strength. But what I've learned, through loss, we can overcome the impossible.
Fear is ever-changing and evolving, and I feel poison inside, but I feel so nobody can save me now. King is crowned, let's do it. time before I go, I'll let you know that all this time